Get on your stomach. Mr. Wright, get on your stomach now.
Security, TR.
Get on your stomach now. Someone get this person out the way.
Good morning and welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m., bright and early right here at home on the range. And thank you so much for being here today, folks. Now that cop right there, he really didn't like being punched, did he? I tell you what. And he must have thought that escaping prisoner had picked up a weapon or something off of that gurney there. Otherwise, I mean, why would he have shot him in the back? I mean, that seems like a criminal sort of thing to do. Not a cop thing to do.
Yesterday, we brought you a story regarding a Savannah K9 who passed away last week. Today, News Press Now's own Chris Fortune joins us in the studio with an update. Chris?
Right, Kirsten. Officials have remained silent as the investigation into the death of Savannah K9 Officer Horace continues. The K9 died Thursday, and media outlets have reported that it was left in a vehicle overnight, citing the police department and police chief David Vincent. Andrew County prosecutor Monica Mori confirmed there is an active criminal investigation through the Missouri State Highway Patrol. I spoke with Chief Vincent today, but he said he will not answer any questions while the investigation continues. Some Savannah residents also shared their thoughts on the case with me, but all declined to go on the record. A candlelight vigil for Horace is scheduled for 6 p.m. on Sunday at Messick Park in Savannah. Back to you in the studio.
Moment, a prison officer in the UK has been arrested after this video. And we're only going to give you 10 seconds because after that, they smashing asses in here. Now, the video and others were shared of her having sex with an inmate. According to the Metropolitan Police, they didn't have to go far to find her because she was already in custody after being arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. We have with us here tonight to talk about this. See how we had to stop it? Devil is busy. We have with us Constable Herschel Smith and formerly incarcerated individual Augusta Williams Jr. So Augusta, and I chatted with you just a second before we started this interview. Had you ever, first of all, your thoughts on this? Because she knows the camera is rolling on her while she's having sex with an inmate. And she's like,
Well, just like it's in...
That ain't quite the same sound.
It's an unspoken duty among inmates to protect one another, information, acts. And it's the same thing with officers because officers like inmates become institutionalized. So officers protect one another, which is rightfully so, but it takes away the integrity of the institution because I don't want to tell on my fellow officer, right?
Right.
Same way inmates, we don't tell on one another. So with that pattern, officers do a lot of things, break policy, sometimes criminal acts, and they're so comfortable like she was because I know my kind got me. Everybody with a badge got me. So that creates that system and that pattern where they do what they want to do and it's comfortable.
Now, when you were behind bars, did you ever see anything like this where officers would have sex with inmates?
I've saw it several times. So in broom closets, laundry departments, kitchens, anywhere where there's blind spots from the cameras, lookouts. I've seen it several times over 8 years. So it happens quite often in the system.
And Constable Smith, you wouldn't be shocked by any of this.
No, I wouldn't be. First of all, I worked for the prison system for several years, so I didn't see anything in my own eyesight. I heard things that happened, but you know, a lot of times it happened in closet, closed environment where very few people go, but there's contracts all the time with inmates and correction officers, and it depends on who the supervisors are, you know. So a lot of times it's a lot of buddy stuff that goes on in the prison system, and when you buddy with people, you know, I myself, I was one of the most hated guys that worked for the prison system.
You didn't want no friends,
right? I had friends. I had friends. I had friends, but I didn't want friends that was going to get me in trouble, and so I stayed away from those kind of correction officers. I already knew who was in contract, and so being in contract with those kind of individuals, all they're going to reflect back on me, so I stayed away from it. But when I was reporting things to the warden, he didn't want to hear certain things,
right?
You know?
Right.
But the warden run his prison, you know, and you know, just certain things you try to say to unfold things, but most of the time they was close with the warden, the major, the captain, and they got away with it.
Now, a lot of times stuff like this is titillating, we'll laugh at it, but it's a breakdown of the system, and it can cause bigger problems, right? And
Most
that's to
definitely,
both of
most
you.
definitely, you know. And you know, when I was working for prison, I was more of an activist than anything else working in the prison, because I saw so much stuff, and I reported things. I wrote grievance and things like that. And the more officers that stand up for what is right, they are the ones that have more trouble than anybody else.
But it's because it's even above the ward, you know. So a lot of cities, a lot of states and countries are understaffed. You know that.
Yeah.
So we're 40-50% understaffed with officers. Then I can't afford to scrutinize you. I can't afford to hold you accountable, because if 20% of y'all doing wrong, I'm losing 100 officers, right? So sometimes they have
Makes
to let
sense.
it overlook it, because we have nobody to run the prison. So
Is that unfortunate, Constable Smith? That
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but you know, it's the same thing that happened in the county jails. You know, you got building tenders. The building tenders back in the day, that was one of the biggest lawsuits that happened in the state of Texas with prison. And when you have building tender was the big black guys, the toughest white guys, the biggest ones, the toughest one. They would run the tank, and so they would control things for the correction officer, and the correction officer just let him do his thing. And that's why things happen, the contracts and things and all the illegal stuff that take place. It's an organized gang within the prison.
And how much damage, from your perspective, do these individuals, in the last 30 seconds we have here, they do when they are having sex with inmates and they're under that inmate's control, essentially?
Well, the sex in itself, I don't think does a lot of damage, but the system as a whole.
But I mean, to get that sex, you're willing to.
Yeah, so when you have those kind of connections with officers and inmates, you create a dangerous, a hostile environment, because when we're getting resources, contraband in, or things are being overlooked, that means people are in danger. We have more contraband, it's dangerous.
Okay, banging through some headlines. Looks like Dennis the Menace became a cop. Off-duty NYC correction officer arrested in Manhattan. Okay, NYPD. Manhattan, New York, an off-duty correction officer was arrested in Manhattan on Sunday, according to the NYPD. And it says royally Bourdieu'd, age 34, was taken into custody around 9:30 p.m. Okay, royally. He was charged with menacing. Oh, no. All right, royally. Bad apple. Banging through some more headlines. Indeed, we are still banging through the headlines. And I think we have a theme here, folks. These correctional officers have a screw loose, okay? This one definitely has a screw loose. Correctional officer honking his horn to, quote, drive faster, calls 911 after getting traffic citation. Honking his horn to drive faster. Okay, Winter Haven, Florida. An officer at the Polk Correctional Institute has been arrested after deputies say he called 911 because he was upset he got a citation for repeatedly honking his horn while driving. Oh, this is funny. This is going to be good, you guys. According to the Polk County Sheriff's Office, a deputy on patrol saw Douglas Morse, age 34. Another theme we have. Driving a red Jeep in the area of Wrecker Highway and Avenue G Northwest, repeatedly honking his horn around 11:45 p.m. on Sunday. So it's late at night. This goofball's honking his horn. They pulled Morse over and said Morse claimed to be honking his horn because it makes him drive faster. Okay, this guy probably lives with his mom. Okay, allegedly. The deputy added that after writing Morse's citation for the violation, Morse became upset and verbally abusive and dialed 911. Look at this guy, you guys. Entitled, "Oh, Mommy, what an idiot." Okay, when the deputy asked him to hang up, Morse refused, saying he did not agree with the citation. Oh, okay, Doug. Look at Douglas, you guys. Ooh. Ugh. If he wasn't so ugly, I'd put him on the cover. But I'm not going to put him on the cover. He's too ugly. The sheriff's office said when the deputy took control of Morse's arm to escort him out of the Jeep, Morse pulled away and continued to resist. That's funny. Morse was arrested for misusing 911 and resisting arrest. I wonder if they tased him. Did you guys tase him? Come on, cops, let us know. Staff at the Florida Department of Corrections were notified of the arrest. We expect more professional behavior from those who work in the public service industry, stated Sheriff Grady Judd. Oh, Grady. I like his show, but, you know, you have low expectations, Grady. Okay? And dialing 911 because you are upset that you received a traffic citation is not only ridiculous, it ties up emergency line and resources that are designated for those who have oh, duh. Thanks for that equation there, Sheriff Grady Judd. But look at this. This guy is a reflection of Sheriff Grady Judd. This guy worked for Sheriff Grady Judd. And if this guy was a real deputy of Sheriff Grady Judd, he'd just be put on administrative leave. That's all. Allegedly. Another day, another lawsuit as we're banging through the headlines. And we have Akron man punched during arrest by Akron police sues the city and the officers. Okay. Jordan Eli files federal lawsuit alleges excessive force. Okay. Blood drips from Jordan Eli's lower lip after he was punched several times by Akron police officers during an arrest, July 1st, 2023, just a year ago. Eli filed a lawsuit against the city of Akron and the officers involved in the encounter. Okay. That's him right there with a bloody lip due to being punched by a cop. Okay, an Akron man who was punched multiple times and forcefully arrested by Akron police officers a year ago has filed a lawsuit against the city of Akron and the officers involved in the encounter. Jordan Eli, who was acquitted by a jury of a resisting arrest charge stemming from the July 1st, 2023 incident, filed the lawsuit in federal court alleging excessive force by the officers, municipal liability for the officers' actions, assault and battery, and negligence. Sounds about right. This is the only recourse that Jordan has for accountability, his attorney, Imokai Okolo, told Signal Akron. He will win, and he will get a sense of accountability. And you know what? I recognize Imokai Okolo's name, and I bet he is going to win. Okay. Along with the city, Eli is suing officers Warren Sprague. Okay, Warren. Are you watching the Bad Apple Report, Warren? You're a bad apple. And Thomas Phillips. Oh, Thomas, you're definitely a bad apple. Thomas Phillips, who arrested him. City of Akron declined to comment on the pending litigation against Warren Sprague and Thomas Phillips, a couple of bad apples that cost the city a bunch of money because they're typical idiot cops. The lawsuit stems from an incident in the parking lot of the Family Dollar on Copley Road. Signal Akron media partner 3 News reported on the arrest and the use of force at the time, which began when officers conducted a registration check on a vehicle with a temporary tag. The check name came back active warrants to Jordan Eli Sr., the registrant of the car. Warning, the video contains... Ooh, look at that, you guys. I don't guess we're going to be able to watch the video. The car was later found in the Family Dollar parking lot. The 2 officers struggled to get Eli in handcuffs. Video of the incident posted by social media and bystanders shows one of the officers punching Eli 3 times. Not nice. Akron police later stated strikes were used in addition to physical grappling. Okay. Those grapplers. Bad grapplers. Police found a small bag of white powder on Eli, and he eventually pleaded guilty to possession of fentanyl-related substances. Eli's January acquittal on the resisting arrest charge opened the door for the federal civil lawsuit. Wellity, well. Okay, he's been acquitted, and thusly, the cops are in trouble. We had to handle the criminal case first, and once that was resolved, we're in a better position to be able to handle the civil suit, Okolo said. It's an identical legal strategy to what he'll pursue with De'Ara Fields when he files a lawsuit on her behalf, he said. That's where I recognize his name. Okolo successfully represents Fields. He successfully represented Fields in a criminal case after the Akron woman was body slammed by an Akron police officer and prosecuted for resisting arrest and obstructing official business. That's right. She was acquitted as well. Eli's lawsuit is about accountability, Okolo said. The mental anguish, the physical anguish, and now having to live with the physical, psychological scar. He's never going to forget what happened to him, and he's never, ever going to live this down, Okolo said. And he needs to be paid. His son is impacted by this. His family is impacted by this. The community is impacted by this. Our only way to affirmatively pursue accountability is through civil process. Yeah, I like the sound of that. Okay, we can't plead to the police department to do something they don't want to do. Okay, they don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to stop punching people. It's what they do. All right. And guess what? Since they don't have to pay for it, it'll keep happening. And Okolo will keep having people to defend and I think that person's doing a good job. All right. I think that's it for our headlines, but we got one more little funny piece to play, and we're going to call it a day.
Lady, are you crazy? Whoa, whoa. Lady.
I'll punch the out of you.
Hey, lady, you're crazy.
Erase
Lady. Lady. Fuck, move, bitch. No, you can't hit me.
911.
Yeah, call them. You hit me. I got you on camera hitting me.
Erase that.
Lady, are you crazy? Whoa, whoa.
Erase
Lady.
that or I'll punch the out of you.
Hey, lady, you're crazy.
Erase
Lady. Lady. Fuck.
You are my favorite people, and I thank you all for being here with me every day, right here at home on the range. And guess what? I'm going to do it again tomorrow, just for you. Thanks a bunch. Have a great day, folks.